So I think everyone's already seen that new GTA 6 trailer. You know, the one about pushing the release date to next year, which is kind of bumming me out. To fight off my sadness, I decided to jump back into GTA 5, which still plays amazingly and hides tons of secrets and details you might not even know about. So I'm stoked to present part 2 of interesting and useless details from GTA 5. And if you haven't seen part 1, there's a link in the description. Let's dive into the video. Originally, the GTA Online concept looked pretty different. We can learn this from developer Zach Sweezen, who published these screenshots. When entering the game, we were supposed to choose one of several factions: Armenian Mafia, Mexican Mafia, Bikers, Ballas, Police, or Family. And we had to capture territory in different districts. And if anyone forgot, this exact same thing was already in GTA San Andreas, where we had to capture Ballas neighborhoods. So, nothing really new there. I only noticed this detail during my second or third playthrough. When playing as different story characters, you'll actually see different suns in the sky. This is what Trevor sees: a four-pointed star in a circle. Remember that. Now switch to Franklin and check out what he sees. And Michael's sun has a long horizontal lens flare with noticeably more blue color. Now, so both you and I can confirm this, I'll quickly switch between characters using a mod. Pretty curious detail, right? I can only explain Michael's sun. He's into movies, and in films, those elongated lens flares and cool colors are super popular. What Trevor and Franklin's suns mean? I honestly don't know. If you know, drop it in the comments. Some Reddit user found this animation in the game files that confused many people. It's called upper V, or fork. For those not in the know, this gesture, which is popular in England, Ireland, Australia, and of course New Zealand, means the same thing as our middle finger. But since most players don't know about this, Rockstar decided not to include it. From cut game details, it's clear that rock climbing was supposed to be in the game. The proof? We have these unused animations and an unused mission icon. Next up is this insanely realistic thing. You can ignite gasoline not just by shooting it. Spilled fuel can also catch fire from sparks flying out of exhaust pipes. Besides looking super realistic, it also looks really beautiful. On the GTA Fundum website, you can find a GIF showing that in the beta version of the game, the car lift actually worked and could be raised and lowered. However, for some reason, the lift doesn't work in the final version. And now, for such a tiny detail that maybe even the developers aren't aware of it, game textures are often made from photographs. And on one of these photos, a Lipton bottle cap made it in. This is the first time in my memory that a real brand appears in a Rockstar game. Here's another Easter egg referencing the real world. At this location, you can find a license plate that says California, which is clearly a developer mistake, since the state of California doesn't exist in the game. At this location, at a very deep depth, you can find old tires. Initially, players had a theory that Rockstar devs were too lazy to design the ocean floor, so they just threw in random textures. But that's not how Rockstar rolls. In 1975, scientists came up with what seemed like a genius idea to get rid of an old tire dump. They tied several tires together with metal cables and tossed them into the ocean to artificially create a reef so endangered fish species could find a new home. They dumped more than 2 million tires, but something terrible happened. After 6 months, the cables broke. Shocking, right? And the current began dragging those tires across the ocean floor at high speed, destroying everything: reefs, corals, fish. Then in '95, a hurricane washed 40,000 tires onto the shore. And from 2007 until today, divers have been trying to clean up the ocean floor. But the damage is insane. If you badly damage a car until it starts smoking, you can notice oil dripping from the engine. But this effect only exists in story mode, not online. The next detail is pretty funny. Near Los Santos Customs, we can find spray paint cans. If we shoot them, the paint starts rapidly spraying out of the can, and it goes on forever. I shot for quite a while, and each time a stream of paint sprayed out. If you know any other objects you can shoot that will spray something out, write it in the comments. Cars in water only stop working if their exhaust pipe stays underwater for more than 3 seconds. Knowing this info, you can drive vehicles with upward curved exhaust pipes even in the ocean. For the next cool trick, you need a gamepad and a double-action revolver. The hammer and trigger exactly match how hard you press the gamepad trigger. The shot will only fire with a full press. One of the things I really love is that you can scare a sleeping cat. It looks genuinely hilarious. To do this, you need first, a cat, second, shoot near it. So let me clarify something. I love cats, and during the filming of this video, no cats were harmed. And by the way, I just found another detail that Ubisoft copied from Rockstar, because in their new Assassin's Creed, you can also wake up animals. Back in 2014, in GTA Online, you could call Mechanic Johnny to deliver your car. But there was clearly something wrong with this mechanic. First off, this weirdo would deliberately damage your car every other time, crash into poles, sink your car, and was extremely aggressive. And if there was a fight near you, he'd just drive away and ignore your calls. Sometimes he'd attack players for no reason, and occasionally would damage cars by kicking them. Yes, GTA Online has NPCs, but not this crazy. Players suspected something fishy. Rockstar probably wouldn't program such an aggressive NPC. And right when players started discussing this oddity, Rockstar cut him from the game with Update 1.10. But the theory is super interesting. Players got the feeling that Rockstar deliberately created this character to damage players' vehicles, forcing them to spend more money in-game to buy new vehicles. After all, with the Morse Mutual update, restoring damaged vehicles already cost $1,000. And it's smart, right? They could always claim it was just a bug. Whether it was intentional or not, unfortunately, nobody has 100% proof. But in 2022, Rockstar made a really cool reference in the Los Santos tuner update. Johnny the mechanic appears in a cutscene and nearly runs over the main character, and his number is still in the game, but the services don't work anymore. At these two locations exactly at 1 a.m., a very strange cobweb appears. In the game files, it's called Electric Spider. What's it for and why? Unfortunately, nobody knows. Many players have a theory that it's some kind of secret code, but what exactly, no one has deciphered yet. The devs are quite the jokers, and one joke is related to jet skis. Each one has speed of feel written on it. The joke is that the developers derived this word from another word. Remove the letter S and you'll get it. Not long ago, one of GTA 5's artists, Anthony McBain, who created clothing for characters, published some early concept art. As we can see, most of his art actually made it into the final game, except for these two designs for Trevor that we hadn't seen before. They didn't make it into the final game, but they did add the yellow mask later for GTA Online. If you puncture a car's gas tank, fuel will start leaking. If we sit in the driver's seat in first-person view, we'll see the fuel gauge showing less and less fuel. All this fuel will flow under the car. And as you've probably guessed, if I rev the engine while stationary, the fuel might catch fire from the sparks. A bit more about fuel and punctured gas tanks. Generators in the subway produce an endless amount of gasoline if you puncture them. The helicopter with a tow hook indicates the maximum allowable weight it can lift, 15 tons. But if you try to lift an insurgent, which is listed in the game files as weighing 8 tons, you won't be able to. Yet the helicopter easily lifts a Rhino tank, which weighs 60 tons according to the game files. How does that work? This file with a minigun was found in the game files, where ideally it should have heated up over time, just like in real life. But for some reason, they never added this feature to the game. In tunnels, just like in real life, GPS stops working in GTA. As you can see, I'm driving to a route point, and it's shown on the map. But as soon as I enter the tunnel, the signal is immediately lost, and the GPS stops working, just like in real life. And as soon as I leave the tunnel, the GPS starts working again. At this location, on one of the highway blocks, you can notice these numbers. It's a secret code that deciphers to, all you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ, a reference to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The police armored truck has many oddities. For example, you can't break its windows from the outside, but as soon as you sit inside and shoot from the cabin, the windows break. Another strange thing is that the windshield lets bullets through when shooting from inside to outside. Most people know that if you follow another character, they'll eventually knock you out. But what many don't know is that if you swim after another NPC, they'll also knock you out, but underwater. When you first enter the Kasatka submarine, during the cutscene you can see these coordinates, and if you enter them into Google Maps, you'll get the Rockstar North office. From deleted dialogues, it seems that the first mission was originally supposed to be different. We needed to enter this room and destroy all the security camera recordings. This can be understood from Michael's cut dialogue. The maximum amount of money a player can have in the game is $2,147,483,647. If you add even $1 to this, your game will just crash. In the subway, you can find this beta version of the Los Santos map. where many roads are missing and the pier is completely absent. And that brings the second part of useless facts about GTA 5 to an end. Thanks for watching all the way through. I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Things are only going to get more interesting from here. Thanks again for your attention, and see you soon.